So, I saw something the other day about how going lectin-free is going to be the new gluten-free. And so it got me to thinking. Right? See, lectins are anti-nutrients in plants, vegetables. And they cause all kinds of problems. I mean, plants apparently don't want to be eaten. So, that got me to thinking because, I went vegan just over 2 years ago. And so I saw this, plants don't want to be eaten. And it was like, oh, where does that leave? There's nothing we can eat that, you're going to have to kill something, I guess. Right? So, so what do? You can't, you're not supposed to eat animals, you're not supposed to eat plants. What do? Well, everything is alive, all right? Everything is alive. And we live in a system, in a reality where we have to eat, right? And you want to eat things that are alive, because the only thing that's going to give you life-sustaining properties are the things that are alive. So we live in this grand cycle of birth, life, death, birth, life, death. It's it's a constant cycle of life, because that's all there is life. Right? Everything's alive, but there is a process within this world of duality, right? This balance, this left, right, up, down, predator, prey. See, this is all the duality system. And then there's gravity, which creates, the spin, right? It cycles around and spins, and this is what creates gravity, and then you got the balance, and the duality system, and the churning, pushing, and pulling. All of this is what makes up our third dimensional reality. And in that, we eat. Okay? And so you're going to have to eat something that's alive. But there is that cycle of birth, life, death. And so there's decay. Within that process, within that arc, there is decay. And you really don't want to eat things which are in the process of decay. I'm after having gone vegan for so long, it's only been a couple of years, but that's enough to really, know where I'm at with it. And thinking about eating animals, it really bothers me. And the part that really bothers me is the decay part, thinking about eating decaying flesh. And I put this all together, and the decay is not really something that I want to thrive on. And so it got me to thinking about the whole thing, the whole world, this reality that we live in, and how we are in this cycle, this vortex. And from birth through life into the decay and eventual death, we are kind of in that process right now. We are going through a cycle. And this is the decay and rebirth process. So in terms of what we subsist on, that is going to give us healthy life-sustaining properties, the decay you want to stay away from. And I equate that to what's happening within society and with what you see around you and what we're hearing on the news and all these things, and the madness, right? This crazed anxiety and push to manipulate and get us, all confused. This is the decay process. Now, within decay, depending on what it is, you can have a fermentation, which creates a different form of life that we call probiotics. Fermentation is also where you get alcohol from, so if you take that in, that's going to cause a euphoria. And these aren't just metaphors. This is what we are in the process of right now. This decay of the old life. It's coming to a close, and it's changing. And there's definitely a fermentation going on right now, and there are many like you and I who, I guess we're sort of the probiotics. So I find it healthy. What I do is I look at this whole system as one giant organism, this world that we live in, rather than focusing on the individual personalities and who's freaking out and who's being inflammatory and who's spraying stuff in the sky and all these things, which, I don't like it any more than you do. But these are all symptoms of the decay process. And if you and I are going to spring from that in the form of fermentation and become the probiotics that help jumpstart the new organism, which is the world what we are about to become enmeshed in, this new way of thinking, this new way of living, this new consciousness, you got to stay away from the decaying flesh. I do miss eating meat, things like barbecue and tacos and these things. But when I think about actually eating meat again, this is like, oh, it's dead flesh. More so than thinking about, the poor animals that are killed to provide me with those things. I think about eating the dead flesh and go, ugh, I don't want to do that. It just it really rubs me the wrong way. And that is a metaphor for looking at the entire world that we live in. We are in this decay process. Don't eat the dead flesh. Don't eat the decay. Everything we eat has to be alive. The fuel that sustains us has got to be alive. Of course, everything is alive, but anyway, what is living in our world that will feed us and make us healthy? That's love. That's being kind. That's looking at what works for us. And that's what we need to live on. The things that really bother us, the things that are wrong, that's part of the decay. Don't eat that flesh. It will not make you healthy. So stand back, look at the whole thing, as a living organism, our world, our society, our system of taking care of one another, government, these things, just stand back and look at the whole thing as an organism. And you will see where the decay is. Don't eat it. It will not make you healthy. Just go with the cycle of life. And what makes us strong, what makes us healthy, what makes us happy, you know what those things are. This is what you want to take into your being and help others find the healthy. Because this old system and all the crazed, maddening things that are happening out there, that's part of the decay, and it's going away. Okay? And it looks really ugly because the decay looks really ugly. Let it go through the process.